This is a story that was told me by my father about the Isle of Man, the land of my ancestors. If you take the bus from Douglas to Peel and you look over your right shoulder as you pass under the shadow of Grebe, you'll see in the middle of the field the church without a roof. And the story of the church without a roof is this. A long time ago, the people that lived thereabouts would have a church, and the place being agreed, they worked together to build one. The stonemasons built the walls, then the carpenters put the roof on with the A-frames, the purlins and the laths, and then the thatchers put on the thatch. And so the work was finished. And the people rose the next morning and went for worship, and there was the church, and there was the roof, all over the field. So they laboured again, put back the purlins and the laths and the thatch, and the next day they rose for worship, and there was the church, and there was the roof. Now you know how these things go. They put the roof back on, rose another day for worship, and found even worse wreckage than before. So the elders got together and they said to each other, "We need to see the wise fellow." Now, the wise fellow lived up on Grebe, and as he saw the elders climbing up to him, he said, "You'll be here to talk about that church." And they asked, "How do you know that?" And he said, "I'd be a fine wise fellow if I didn't." And then he said, "You've built your church in the field that's owned by the Buganne. If you want to keep the roof on it, you need to break the curse. You need to get your village tailor to sit in the nave of that church from sundown to sun up, and he needs to make a pair of breeches." Now, tailors are not traditionally perceived as particularly brave men, so you can imagine how keen he is. So there he is, that night, in the nave of the church, making breeches, sewing away, sewing away. The only idea he has at the time is from the church a mile away down the road. It's 11 o'clock. Sewing away, sewing away. 1:15, sewing away. The half hour, sewing away, sewing away. 1:45, sewing away. The hour, 1, 2, sewing away. 3, 4, sewing away, sewing away. 6, sewing away. 8, 9, sewing away, sewing away. 10, 11, sewing away. 12. It's quiet, sewing away. Nothing's changed, except that little patch of grass over there that's been in the tail of his eye these past 4 hours. It's not there anymore. And that little fold of ground just there, it's gone. You can't see it anymore. The ground feels like it's moving. It is moving. It's splitting. And through the split there comes an elbow, and then a hand, and then another hand, and a shoulder, and a knee, and a foot, and a head. But he doesn't see the head, because by then he's running headlong down the road, running to get away from the terrible thing behind him. Bang, 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 go the Buganne's feet on the road behind him, because the Buganne will never stop, running, because he knows the Buganne will never stop, never tire, never, ever, ever relent. Bang, 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 comes the Buganne, its huge, great feet, bang, 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 on the road, running, because he knows the Buganne will never stop, never tire, never, ever stop, never stop. It's the next church, the one a mile away. He has run the mile, and he leaps over the churchyard wall. The Buganne stops. He can't go on holy ground, so he reaches up and tears his own head off his shoulders, and he throws it. There is a terrible, ghastly silence. There is a terrible, ghastly noise. There is a terrible, ghastly silence. But if you take the bus from Douglas to Peel, and you look over your right shoulder as you pass under the shadow of Grebe, you'll see the church without a roof. And if you go into the pub just down the road, you'll find the shears and the needle that he used to make the breeches. And that is the tale of the Buganne.